Bodies of water all over the globe are the lifeline of our Earth, and mankind oceans produce more than half of the oxygen we breathe and absorb carbon. Now, that's why it's so important to keep our seas and its creatures safe. Do you get that? And that's why we invited Sean Anderson Vi from our Denver Zoo. He's ready to talk trash. Nice to see you, Sean.
Yeah, you too.
So what's the goal of Washed Ashore, Art to Save the Sea, that you guys are doing over there?
Well, we want to create awareness about ocean debris and plastic pollution. So it's presented by CH2M, and it presents 15 sculptures all around the zoo, like this penguin here, that were constructed by trash. So on this guy, I've kind of like looked at him here. He's everything from like toothbrushes to birth control containers and stuff like that. It's just amazing what the artist used to make him. So we want people to actually take a look at these things, and they are amazing art sculptures, but also just, think about what might be going in the ocean and on land too.
Yeah, and Washed Ashore is a nonprofit group. So how did the Denver Zoo get involved?
It's been around for 6 years, and until now it's been at zoos and aquariums along the coast. We're the first non-coastal inland location to actually host it. And the reason why is because as much as 80% of debris in oceans actually comes from activities on the land. So, for instance, here in Denver or Colorado, we have to worry about what goes in the Platte, and it actually goes down to the Gulf of Mexico. So we want to send that message that even as far removed from the coast as we are, our activities can still shape what goes into the ocean.
I want to make sure I understand this right. Everything that was created was made by trash that they found from the sea that was in there polluting it?
So it's all put on these metal skeleton frames.
Right.
But yeah, everything on top of that, everything from flip-flops to toothbrushes to cigarette lighters, it's all very, very meticulously placed on these bodies. It's really interesting.
Who are the artists?
It's actually an interesting story. So the lead artist, her name is Angela Posey, and about 6 or 7 years ago, she had a couple family tragedies in her life. She moved back home. She spent years as an artist, an art teacher, moved back home to Oregon, and as she was walking along the coast just to kind of clear her mind, reflect, she just kept stepping over pieces of trash, and more than she could even fathom. And she told me when I talked to her a while ago, she thought then that even as hard as she thought she had it, she realized the ocean needed more healing than she did. So she decided to do something about it and create this project.
Now, as I look at like the dinosaur or the penguin that was just shown, I'm sure people are going to want to touch the sculptures and touch the art. Are they able to at the Denver Zoo?
Definitely. We actually encourage it. So we don't want people to jump on them or abuse them, but we actually do encourage people to come up and touch them. We want that extra sensory experience. So come up and touch like the teeth or the eyes or the mouth, and kind of just think about what might be going on in the ocean. And speaking of the word touch, the artist herself says she wants you to feel these things, so you can feel excited, you can feel interested, curious, and she said it's even okay to maybe feel a little angry, realize that.
Upset that all this trash came from the ocean.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought. I was like, wow. I mean, it's an interesting way to bring awareness to it, but it's also upsetting when you look at that. Like you mentioned the birth control box. Who would throw that in the ocean? That's horrible.
I know.
We have a picture of an octopus here. Can you share a little bit more about this giant octopus?
So this is Octavia. She's 9 feet tall, 850 pounds. And we just thought it would be kind of an interesting thing she's actually the only sculpture, there's 16 total, but 15 at the zoo. She is actually located at Denver Union Station. So we encourage people to come to the zoo, but if you can't make it out to the zoo, take a look at Octavia. She's a really, really cool sculpture.
That's outstanding. Talk more about Fall in Love with Denver Zoo. It's taking place this Friday.
Yeah, this Friday through most of October. So we're in fall now, so let's love it and love the zoo. So come out, and we have some extra animal demonstrations, some keeper talks going on, and then we're actually inviting mermaids and pirates and fairies to kind of bring in that like nautical theme from Washed Ashore.
Oh, fun. So bring the kiddos. And then also later in the month you have Boo at the Zoo. Any new features this year?
Yeah, so again, the mermaids and pirates and fairies are staying, so definitely come for like the large-size fairy garden, but also make sure you come around, see some creepy crawly animal demonstrations, some of course trick-or-treating. There's about 20 trick-or-treat stations, 2 weekends now, and yeah, it's a lot of fun, family-friendly fun.
Is it true that the zoo is actually trying to encourage people to trick-or-treat green? And if so, how do you do that?
We are. Well, a couple of ways to do that. So first of all, we encourage people to, rather than go buy a costume that they'll maybe wear once in their lives, maybe just consider going to the thrift shop and picking up something and making something new out of that. Or bring your own reusable bucket or bag to the zoo. Actually, this is our 32nd year. For the first time, we're actually not going to be supplying candy bags to guests. So if you want to collect candy, You got to bring your own
You got to
container.
bring your own container. And I'm sure it's going to be extremely busy. There's always a big turnout. What about parking?
It is. So yeah, again, we're over 2 weekends now, so it's a bit thinned out. But previously we could get as much as 40,000 people over 2 days. Again, 2 weekends now, but it's still very, very busy. So we encourage people to ride the bus, bike in, and if you do that, we have stations, if you supply your RTD ticket or at the bike racks, that you can actually get $2 off to Boo at the Zoo daytime admission.
Oh, that's great. And 25 trick-or-treat stations. Oh my gosh, a lot of candy. Now through January 2017, go, go, go to Denver Zoo, still on land to enjoy Washed Ashore, Art to Save the Sea. 15 giant sculptures of sea life are made almost entirely from trash collected from the beaches. Very interesting. Boo at the Zoo is October 22nd, 23rd, 29th, and 30th, each day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Learn about all the events by visiting their website. Go to denverzoo.org.